Hello friend, in today's video we will learn how to interface the soil moisture sensor with your Raspberry Pi. We will simulate this hardware and you can see there is a LCD also. So whatever the soil moisture sensor output, we will display on the LCD. So let's see what will be the final output first. So when you run your program, you can see welcome first print on LCD, then soil level, and whatever the soil level you have given from here, it will display on here 138, 178. This soil level vary with the register. So we will see the complete hardware connection, how to design this type of simulation. Also we will see the source code, this Python code, so that you can get idea about programming also and hardware also. So I request you please watch this complete video so that you will get idea about hardware and programming itself. Okay, before starting the actual simulation, you need to install this soil moisture sensor library in Proteus. So you require this library. So I will add this library in my Google Drive. You can find that library from Google Drive. You can find this drive download folder from that Google Drive link. After you find this zip folder, right click on that folder and go to the 7J and click on extract here. So once you click on extract here, you will get this folder and you will find this Proteus library of soil moisture sensor. So copy that library. So once you copy this, go to your C drive, then search programming files, then in programming files search Lapson electronics. After that search Proteus 8 and then data, and inside data go to the library, and once you go to the library, paste here whatever the library you copied. So this will install the soil moisture sensor library in your Proteus. So once you copy this library, open Proteus software, right click on Proteus set, then click on run as administrator. Be specific, run as administrator only. So it requires administrator permission. Click on yes. Once you click on yes, you can see Proteus design suite 8.9 window will open. So basically Raspberry Pi require 8.9. So if you haven't installed 8.9 software in your laptop, please watch my first video. In that video, I have explained you how to install this software. The video link available in description. So once you open this, go to the new project, then give your project name here, such as let's say we will give soil, then provide the path of your folder, click on browse, and whatever path you want you can provide here, then click on next, then click on create schematic from the selected template, then click on next, then do not create the PCB layout, then click on next, then click on create firmware project. After that, go to the family and click on Raspberry Pi. So once you click on Raspberry Pi gets selected automatically. Then you can see compiler is Python 3. Then click on next. So once you click on it, click on finish. So once you click on finish, you can see the source code window and schematic window will open. In source code window, we will write our program, and in schematic we will design our schematic. So you can see Raspberry Pi already available here. So first we require the LCD to display the output. So if you want to select the LCD, go to the component mode, then click on P, then type here 16x2. So once you type 16x2, you can see 16x2 LCD will open. Then click on OK and place here. So in that we have to connect RS, enable D4, D5, D6 and D7 pin. So why D4, D5, D6, D7 pin only, 4 pin only? Because this LCD work in 4-bit mode. In my second video of Proteus, I have explained you a complete idea about the LCD and how this LCD work with Raspberry Pi. Please watch that video so that you can get idea about LCD and the programming of LCD. So let's see how to connect this LCD. Then first we have to connect the ground from this LCD. So go to the terminal mode, then click on ground and place ground here. So once you place ground here, click on VDD and connect that ground to here. So after that we have to connect RW pin. So RW pin always connect to the ground. So again click on ground and connect this pin to the ground. Then after that we have to connect RS pin and enable pin. So RS pin is connected to GPIO 4 pin. So to connect that pin, go to the again terminal mode, then default, take this pin and right click on this pin, rotate clockwise, anti-clockwise, then place here and connect this pin to here. So once you connect this pin here, double click on that pin. So once you double click, go give your name GPIO4. So this GPIO4 name comes from here, GPIO4. So this should be identical. Click on OK. Then again we have to connect enable pin to Raspberry Pi. Go to again terminal mode, then default, then right click on this pin, rotate anti-clockwise, again place here, then connect here, again give here name GPIO 17. So this GPIO 17 come from here, GPIO 17. Again we have to connect D4, D5, D6 and D7 pin. So again go to the terminal, default, take 4 pin at a time, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Once you take 4 pin, select all this and rotate anti-clockwise. So once you rotate anti-clockwise, again select all this and place here and connect D4, D5, D6 and D7 one by one. So once you connect, give name. D4 should be connected to GPIO 18. GPIO 18. Click on OK. Again double click on next pin. Next pin should be connected to GPIO 27. And double click here. Again go give name GPIO 22. Again double click here and give next pin name GPIO 23. So this will completely we have completely connected LCD with your Raspberry Pi. Now next point is we have to connect ADC IC to Raspberry Pi. So before starting the next part, I request you please subscribe my channel. You can see I have only 133 subscriber. It takes too much time to create one video and you just require 1 second to click on subscribe button. And once you click on subscribe button, it will motivate me because Raspberry Pi don't have inbuilt ADC. We have to connect external ADC IC. So if you want to connect external ADC IC, again go to the component mode, then P and type here MCP 3208. So once you type MCP 3208, you can see this chip. Click on OK and place this chip here. Again, this IC has clock, D in, D out and chip select pin. So you have to connect this pin to Raspberry Pi. So you have to connect SPI pin with your Raspberry Pi. Again go to the terminal mode, then default, then place pin here 1, 2, 3, 4. At a time place 4 pins, right click, rotate 180 degree, then again select this and this pin should be aligned with these 4 pins. Again click on this one, connect all these pin one by one. So once you connect all this pin, we have to connect this pin with your Raspberry Pi. You can see first pin is clock and you can see here clock. So this should be name identical. So double click on this pin, give name here CLK. So this name should be identical with this name. Click on OK. Now next pin is DIN. So DIN means the ADC IC pin input pin. So output pin from Raspberry Pi is master out slave in. So double click on here. So give your name master out slave in. So Raspberry Pi sends some output and this pin this IC taken that input. Now next pin is D out. So IC will send and Raspberry Pi taken that input. So click on here. So we have to connect MISO master in slave out. Now next pin is chip select pin. So you have to connect CS pin again. So double click here, again give name CS. So we have connected Raspberry Pi pin with ADC IC. Now next point is we have to connect VCC and ground pin. So VCC and ground pin you can find VCC from here. Go to generated mode, DC supply, and connect, place here. So once you connect this one to your V reference, give your name, double click on this, and provide voltage 3.3. Then you have to connect ground pin. Go to again terminal mode and ground. Then place the ground here and connect this ground to here. Okay. Now next part is we have to connect soil moisture sensor. So you can find soil moisture sensor in component mode. Go to the P, then type here soil. So once you type, you can see soil moisture sensor we have selected. Now select that one and place that soil moisture sensor here. We have to connect A out, ground, and VCC pin. So ground pin should be connected to ground first. Go to the terminal, then ground, then connect ground, take ground and connect that ground to the ground. Now next point is we have to connect the VCC pin from your small moisture sensor. Go to generated mode, click on DC supply and place the DC supply here and connect this DC supply with your DC supply VCC pin of small moisture sensor, and double click on this pin and give voltage 3.3. Click on OK. Okay, now next part is we have to connect the A out pin from the small moisture sensor to ADC pin. You require some inductor and capacitor circuit for this. So go to the terminal mode, click on P and type here inductor. So once you click on inductor, select any one inductor and click on OK. Place that inductor here and connect that inductor with your A0 pin. After that, you require capacitor. Go to the here again, place mode, then capacitor. Select capacitor and place here. Now rotate this capacitor to anti-clockwise. So once you rotate, connect that capacitor to inductor. Now another point of capacitor should be connected to ground. Now you have to connect channel 0 pin from the ADC to this output of A0. Now go to the terminal and then default, place here one pin and connect this pin to channel 0. Double click on this pin, give here name ADC underscore 0. After that again go to the terminal, then default and again select the another pin. Now connect this pin to at this point only. Again this double click on this pin, give your name ADC underscore 0. So this name should be identical with this name. So this means that this pin is connected to channel 0 virtually. So now next part is we have to connect pot register in the, at this small moisture sensor pin, so that you can vary the soil sensor output. So if you want to select the pot, go to this component mode, then click on P and type here pot. So once you type here pot, select this pot and click on OK and place that pot here. So once you place that pot, right click on this pot, click 180 degree and connect this pin to here, and you have to connect VCC and ground to the pot. Again go to the generated mode, then DC, click on here and supply to this, connect this DC to here. Double click on here and give your name, give voltage 3.3 and now connect the ground. You can find in ground in terminal mode, then click on ground and place that ground here. Now connect this ground to the next point of pot. So we have successfully connected pot to the small moisture sensor. Now next part is you have to load the hex file into the small moisture sensor. So to load the hex file into small moisture sensor, double click on this sensor and you can see this is folder. You require hex file. Click on this folder and you can find that hex file into the folder when you extract that zip. So you can find this hex file, go to that folder and select this zip and click on OK. Now if you want to write the program here, go to the source code and type your program here. So you can see here the first line is import SPI dev, import time and import GPIO. This is basically packages which is need to access GPIO pin and the SPI protocol of Raspberry Pi. Next point is GPIO.set mode, GPIO board. So basically Raspberry Pi works in two methods, as a Raspberry Pi board and Raspberry Pi BCM chip. So if you want to connect, if you want to select Raspberry Pi as complete board, you can use this line. Now the next line is GPIO.set warning to the false. So basically when you run the program on actual Raspberry Pi gives you warning that whatever the GPIO pin you have used is already used before. So to avoid that warning, you can use this line. Next line is SPI dev. This line is actually used to create the SPI variable. So next line is SPI open 00. This will open the SPI connection. So next line is we have to define the LCD and our small investor sensor pin in. So first line is LCD RS to the 15. So in schematic you can see here we have connected RS pin to the GPIO4 and this GPIO4 is connected to 7 number. So that we can give here RS pin to the 7. Now next part is enable pin to the 17. So you can see enable pin we have connected to GPIO 17. So you can give your name GPIO 17, that is 11 number. So here should be the 11. So next part is we have connected D4 pin, that is GPIO 18, that is connected to GPIO 18 and that pin number is 12. So give your name 12. So next line is we have connected GPIO D5 pin to GPIO 17. So 27. So 27 number is 13. So give your name 13. So next line is D6 pin. D6 pin connected to GPIO 22. 22 number is 15. So give your name 15. So next line is GPIO D7 pin. It is connected to GPIO 23. The GPIO 23 number is 16. So give your name 16. So successfully we have configured pin in program also. Now next line is soil channel to 0. You can see here we have used channel 0 from the ADC. So that we have defined here channel 0. So next line is equals e delay. All these variable are used to create the delay. So next line is we have to set that all the pin to the output. So to set any pin to the output, this is syntax GPIO.set mode pin name and GPIO.out. So we have set all the pin to the output. Set all this pin here as output pin. So next part is define some device like what is the length of your LCD, that is it is 16 by 2 LCD. So that we have selected here LCD width is 16. Then character to LCD command is called. We will see the use of this variable later. Then line number 1 is 18, line number 2 is C0. So if you want to send some signal on LCD on first line, that is 16 by 2, there are two rows, first row and second row. So if you want to send on first row, you can use this syntax LCD 80, and if you want to send some signal, that is some message on second row, you can send C0. So we will see later what is use of this variable. So first line whatever is executed in program is LCD init function. So you can see LCD init function is here. So here first one is LCD init function. In LCD init function we have to send some command so that our LCD gets work. So this command is nothing but start the LCD, take the initial to first row only, message should be printed on first row only. All this command you can see all this command, and you will see you will get details of this command on Google. You can search the LCD command, you can easily find the importance of each and every command. So main important part of this is to how to send this LCD command from Raspberry Pi on your LCD. So there is function lcd.byte. Then you have to pass the command and LCD command. So the LCD command is nothing but the variable we have declared already here, LCD command to the false. So we will see this what is this function. So LCD command, it is jump to this LCD byte. Then after that here is select GPIO.output LCD RS pin mode. So what is mode? we have sent here mode as a LCD command, so means this is the command mode. So whenever there is a command mode, you have to select RS pin, and that RS pin should be the Raspberry Pi should send the 0 signal on that RS pin. So you can see LCD command mode, this is variable, and this variable has a value false. So whenever you are sending the command on LCD, you have to send RS to 0, that is RS 0 signal on RS pin. So that we have already created function LCD byte send command, and LCD command, this is nothing but 0 automatically send on RS pin with this function gpower.output LCD RS to 0. Then after that we have to send the data. So data is nothing but this is a 8 byte of data. You can see this is 8 byte of data, but in our schematic we have we use the 4 byte pin 4 pin. So we have to segregate our data into 4 byte, so that we use another logic. So once this signal 33 number sent to LCD byte, it comes here. Then first part is set the command as a command mode. Then GPIO.output, all these our 4 pins should be selected to false by default. D4, D5, D6, D7 should be the false. This means that the 0 signal sent on the LCD D4, D4, D5, D6, D7 by default. Then next line is if bits ending with 0 1 0, that is higher byte is equal to 1 0. So let's say this is 33 number. If you, so first we have to send the 33 number 33 data command on LCD. So in 33 we have to first aggregate the higher byte first and then lower byte first. So you can see this is our higher bytes and this is our lower byte. So from the higher byte we have to send the D4 first. So to send the D4 byte first, we have to masking with 10. So after masking with 10, you can see the D4 bits get one value. So if that value is 1, then we have to send one signal on D4. So that 1 again shifted to the D5, then again masking with 20, and if the value is 20, then we have to send the one signal on fifth number of LCD bit. So this logic applied to each and every pin D6 and D7. So once that this higher bits get executed send on LCD, we have to shift the same logic to the lower bits. So again lower bits we have to send D4 first, then D5, D6 and D7. But in that case the masking is 0 cross 0 1. So we will see the code. So first we are sending 33, then the LCD bytes get here, then 33 mode is command because we are sending command. Then GPIO.output LCD RS pin to the mode, that is mode is command, that is 0. That means 0 signal send on the RS pin. Then by default we have to send the 0 signal on each and every pin D4, D5, D6, D7. After that we are checking if first bit masking with 10 is equal to 10. If 10, then we have to send D4 to the true. If that is not equal to 10, then we have to already send false signal from here. Then second bytes from the higher bits 20. If this value is 20 after masking, then we have to send D5 to true. Then third byte 40, then D6 to true, and then last byte D7 byte. If we are masking is 80, then we have to send D7 to true. If any of this condition false, then we already send the false signal. So once you send the higher signal, you have to toggle the enable pin. So to toggle the enable pin, we are using this logic LCD toggle enable. So in that logic, we have to pass the high-low signal on the enable pin. So to pass the high-low signal, this is the logic time.sleep. First we are sending some delay, then GPIO.output enable pin to a true. So it will send the high signal on enable pin, then time.sleep to the pulse, then it is sending some time sleep, then GPIO.output LCD enable pin to a false. It is sending the 0 signal on LCD enable pin, then after some delay, so it will toggle the pin. So once you send the higher bits, we have to send the lower bits again. So same logic will apply. First we have to send the 0 signal on each and every pins D4, D5, D6. Then again masking with 0 1. So in this case is 0 1. We are first masking with 1 0 because this higher bit, and this is the lower bit because this is lower bit we have to send 0 1. So if the value is 0 1, then we have to send LCD D4 pin to the true value. Same for the D5, D6, D7. So in this case we are sending the data on LCD pin. After sending the data lower bits, we have to again toggle the pin with a toggle function. So this is the basic idea behind how to send the data on LCD. So once LCD get initialized, the next part is we have to send the welcome function, welcome message on LCD line number 1. So we have already defined LCD line number 1 variable, which is nothing but the 0 value. So LCD dot string welcome. So welcome is nothing but the array. So each array is divided into again 1 byte with their index. So index 0 contain W, index 1 contain E, L contain second index, then C. So this iteration we will do with by the for loop. So first go to the LCD string function. So inside LCD string function there is a message that is welcome and line is line number 1. So first we have to calculate the width of that message with this function. So once you calculate the width, uh, we have to tell LCD that this message has to print on line number 1 by using this command, line command. So line command get execute with LCD byte. Same logic will execute. Then next is we have to iterate the welcome message. To iterate the welcome message, we will use for loop for I in the range of LCD width. So I is not starting with 0 and it incrementing 1 2 3 4 till LCD width. What will be the length of this message? So let's say first I is equal to 0. So LCD byte function get execute with parameter message of I. So I is 0, then message of I is 0, nothing but the W. Then LCD character. Then we are passing the character to the LCD byte, so that LCD with so that RS pin set to 1, and then our message get print. Once the W is sent on the LCD, you have to send the E. So I increment to 1, then E will send, and same with the same logic all the message send on the LCD. Now while one will run, then next line is read channel to the soil channel. So read channel is basically a function which is used to access the data from the ADC output. So it will take the data from the channel 0, and data is stored to soil level variable. So that soil level variable we have to print on LCD. So first we have to print soil level, that is string on LCD. So this is command LCD string soil level, and LCD1, that means this soil level string will be print on the row 1 of LCD. Then LCD string soil level. So this soil level actually the output of the soil sensor, and that will print on the second level. So this is basic idea about ADC and LCD. And if you want to run this schematic, click on run button. Now if you want to run this program, click on run. You can see welcome successfully printed, and soil level is 0 starting. Now if you can vary this soil level with this. Now successfully we vary the soil level also. So we have successfully connected the soil sensor LCD with your Raspberry Pi.